Oh, out the way, cause I'm gon' slay. Move out the way, I could do this all day. Move out the way, cause I'm gon' slay. Move out the way, cause I'm gon' slay. I could do this all day. Move out the way, cause I'm gon' slay. Move out the way, cause I'm gon' slay. I could do this all day. Move out the way, cause I'm gon' slay. Move out the way, cause I'm gon' slay. Chef up in the kitchen, flip this beat just like a pancake. You might just got that Rona, so it's no thanks to your handshake. You boys a joke, like the Aints and the Panthers. Or maybe Falcons, cause y'all ain't got no answers. Hit a talk down, that's non-stick. Make you walk the plank with an ankle brick. It's lights out, baby, you done burnt your wick. Need a pill in the nurse the way my flow so sick. Falling on you boys like time terrific. These fucks all day, my team's so prolific. And there's plenty of room on the bandwagon. Been 18 years, y'all done broke the dragon. Bucos Locker room talk with Travis and Isaiah. If you come to troll, then you get snapped like a gator. Shout out Pirates, shooters and the bandits. And we come with facts and the haters can't stand it. Locker room talk with Travis and Isaiah. If you come to troll, then you get snapped like a gator. Shout out Pirates, shooters and the bandits. And we come with facts and the haters can't stand it. Locker room talk with Travis and Isaiah.
Good evening. Once again, welcome to another edition of Bucos Locker. This is your host, Isaiah, coming to you again. Subscribe, like, comment, share on all the videos. Don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify you on all new videos that's posted on this channel. Shouts out to all the Pirates and Sea Bandits. Keep supporting the channel. All donations are welcome, big or small. What else? Let's see who we got in the chat room right now. I'm a little early today. I told y'all we got Kevin Cass. We got Saints fan 13. What's up, buddy? Congratulations on the win. You know, it's all love, no hate. You know what I'm saying? No excuses on my end. I'm about to address all the excuses I've been hearing all day from a lot of people. But we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second. King Cook, Eli, Tommy, what up? Bucks fan 26, Jason, Frank, Johnny, A-Rod, William Rogers. Well, I mean, don't forget to make sure you purchase some cookies from my daughter. Yeah, the cookie thing ends November 5th. So don't forget to purchase some delicious cookies from my daughter. Support her fundraiser. You know, she will gladly appreciate that, and I will relay the message to her. I'll post a link in the chat room here if you want some delicious cookies. So where should I begin? Right? I don't know how long it's gonna go. This might go a while, but where should I begin at with this? The Bucs lose 36-27 to the New Orleans Saints on a road game, America's Game of the Week on Fox. Very exciting game, a lot of drama, highs and lows. The Bucs are now 6-2. The New Orleans Saints are 5-2, and we have a bye. And the Saints got the New Orleans Falcons next. So if the Saints beat the Falcons next week, they are the division leaders once again. What can I say? You know, like Mike 82. James, what up, man? Nicholas. Share this broadcast too, man. I want a lot of people in here today because they need to really hear this. Saints fans, Bucks fans, any NFL fan that like football and you want to hear real football talk, share the broadcast. I got to start saying that. Share the broadcast. My shooters, can you relay that message? Like my shooters in the chat room, can you relay that message? Share this broadcast because I want a lot of people to hear this because you really need to hear this. You know what I'm saying? Because There's a lot to talk about, a lot to digest, and I'm gonna try to condense this as best as I can. But you know, I guess you can start out. I can start out like this. What up, Jermaine? Damian Street, what up? You can have the most confidence in the world in anything you do. When you're on the top of the world and you can't be touched, sometimes you forget about the little things that matter. Because when those little things come up, it can hurt you because you overlook the things that really matter. And you worry about the things that don't matter. The things that really do matter tend to sneak up on you. And I tie that in with yesterday's game. The game plans were different between both teams. And coming into this game, you knew this game was going to be tough. I spoke on this multiple times that this game was going to be tough. I spoke about it all last week, even on the day before the game. But all I heard was, "Oh no, we're going to beat the Saints. Oh, the Saints not good. Oh, because the Saints got a trash quarterback." This, the typical stuff that you hear from fans that across any team, when you get big-headed, arrogant, and you think your team is untouchable, you hear some of the stuff that don't make football sense. So when you look at this game, it didn't go as expected, right? And we'll get into the details and the intricate details of this game and why it didn't go as expected. And you can't just point the fingers at the refs, because I see a lot of Bucs fans pointing the fingers at the refs. Yes, did they play a part? In my opinion, yes. But at the end of the day, the team that executes the best wins the game. So many different layers needs to be discussed today. And I hope this is a clear message. That game should be a clear message to a lot of Bucs fans that had the arrogant feel. Humble yourself. And I told y'all. I picked the Bucs to go 14-3 for a reason. Go back and watch my schedule prediction. I picked the Bucs to go 14-3. And one of the 3 losses was the Saints. The 3 losses that the Bucs are going to have this year, and I'm going to stand on this. Rams already lost. Saints, you already lost to the Saints. And the Buffalo Bills. I think they're all road games. So as of right now, the Bucs are still divisional leaders, and we will still make the playoffs. But this is the NFL. At any given Sunday, a team can beat you, especially when you play a competent team that don't beat themselves. I'm going to repeat. Now, this is about facts. This is about football or any sport. When you don't make the mistakes, you don't beat yourself. And as you've seen in yesterday's game, the Bucs did a lot of things that were uncharacteristic, or it's becoming a trend, right? And I'm going to go into the team stats so y'all can see what I'm talking about. What up, Michael Alexander? I'm sorry, Buffalo's a home game. I'm sorry, but that's still a loss. Buffalo's really good. I'm sorry, I got that mixed up with another team. But Buffalo's an L. And for multiple reasons why this game shows you, and the Rams game will show you why that's an L, in my opinion. But so we're going to touch on the team stats a little bit so y'all can see where this conversation is going to go for the rest of this segment or this episode. So let's break this down. We're about to talk about real foot. This is facts. This is not about feelings and how I feel about the Bucs and the Saints and all that stuff. This is just straight facts. I haven't even got into what I feel about the game. And I don't really want to feel. I want to just give the logical truth about this game. We didn't look good. Didn't execute in all phases of the game. This is a team loss. Yes, I can point the loss to the quarterback, but would that be fair? Because we always did that. Station 9 Inc. or the super chat. Who that for life? Appreciate the love, man. Thank you for respecting this channel, man. I'm glad you follow this channel as a Saints fan. When emotions are high, sense is missing. Yes, and we'll get into that. Station 9 Inc. Trust me, the emotions was all over the place for the Bucs. They all over the place, especially on defense, and we'll get into that. R Breeze, what up, man? Clack 5 White. Boxing reference. Styles make fights. You're right. So let's break this matchup, break down team statistics, right? First downs. Saints 26, Bucs 16. We'll get into that. Third down efficiency, which is interesting. The Bucs were 8 for 13. The Saints were 5 for 14. Interesting. Fourth downs. Saints were 2 for 3. Sean Payton had cojones. Shouts out to Aki TV. Total plays. The Bucs had 58. The Saints had 72. Interesting. Jerron, what up, man? Total yards. The Bucs had 421. The Saints had 361. Okay, 8 for 13 on third down. 421 yards total offense. Okay. Only 16 first downs? All right, cool. The Bucs had the possession, had 12 possessions. The Saints had 11. Yards per play, 7.3. Saints, 5.0. Okay, so that's third downs, total yards, and yards per play. Okay. Passing yards. The Bucs were net yards, 350. The Saints 209. 28 for 41. Saints were 22 for 39. Passing yards per play, 8 yards for the Bucs. Saints 5 yards per pass play. Interceptions thrown. This is where it gets good at. 2 interceptions thrown. Bucs. Saints 0. That's with Winston and Trevor Siemian at quarterback. Mr. Interception and a backup third string quarterback didn't throw an interception. Sack yards. The Bucs, Brady was sacked 3 times, and Trevor Siemian and / James Winston was sacked 1 time. All that blitzing and 1 sack? All that blitzing and 1 sack. Rushing yards. The Bucs 71. The Saints 152 as a team. They doubled the Bucs in rushing. Rushing attempts. The Bucs 14. The Saints 32. The Saints ran the ball 32 times. Quarterback running backs, they ran the ball 32 times. The Bucs ran it 14. I think y'all see where I'm going with this. Rushing yards per attempt. The Bucs had 5.1. The Saints had 4.8. So the Bucs with 14 rushes with 71 yards, 5.1 yards per play when they ran the ball, but they only ran it 14 times. Interesting. We'll get into all this. I just want to put this out here. I want to give y'all the facts, the numbers. So y'all can't make excuses and say, remember, today's episode is about facts over feelings. I don't want to hear about how you feel. I want to know, what did your eyes tell you? What did these numbers tell you? And what did your eyes tell you? Red zone, the Bucs were 2 for 2. The Saints were 3 for 7. So they had 7 attempts in the red zone. Wow. Penalties. The Bucs 11 for 99 and the Saints 2 for 10. So who was more disciplined? We'll get into that. Turnovers. The Bucs 3, Saints 0. We'll get into that. Time of possession, TOP. The Bucs 26 minutes and 44 seconds. The Saints 33 minutes, 16 seconds. Now, I just gave y'all all the major stats. I haven't gotten into the individual stats or anything like that, but as team stats. So from what this tells me, just the numbers, the Bucs were moving the ball on the ground and through the air pretty well. But they had 3 turnovers and 11 penalties. How do you win a road game when you have 3 turnovers and 11 penalties against a pretty decent team? I'm not saying the Saints are top tier, but they don't suck. Let's make that clear. The Saints don't suck. You can spin it how you want to spin it. You can make yourself believe that they suck, but they don't. And you know it. It's your pride. Swallow your pride and admit that the Saints are good. As long as Sean Payton is that coach, as long as they got that defense and they can make some plays on offense, they're good. If they can avoid injuries, on defense, they're gonna be in a lot of games. They're gonna be into a lot of games. They'll probably win about 10 games because of Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill. That you got to subtract 2 games. The Saints, their ceiling was 12 games. Their floor was 10. But with Trevor Siemian, with Winston injured, the ceiling is probably 10, maybe 11, and the floor is 9. So they might squeeze into the playoffs because of Winston's not playing. He's out for the season with a torn ACL and MCL damage, out 9 to 12 months. So prayers up to Jameis Winston. Get well soon. But let's get back to this realness. 3 turnovers and 11 penalties. The Saints won the time of possession, the turnover battle, the rushing attempts battle, and the yards battle. They only threw the ball for 209 yards, net yards. But somehow they had 36 points on the board. They scored 16 points off of 3 turnovers by Tom Brady. Nobody's perfect, folks. Nobody's perfect. 16 points off of turnovers was the difference of the game. The Bucs could have won the game with the penalties. But when you turn the ball over 3 times against a team like that, that's coached by a top 5 coach, you're going to lose every time. The Saints defense match up very well. And to reference what somebody said earlier, styles make fights. We're a finesse team. Chuck the ball around. We run when we feel like it. What did I say before this game happened? The Bucs need to establish the run, take the crowd out the game, but oh no, we want to chuck the ball around. Chucking the ball around leads to 3 turnovers by Tom Brady. 2 bad throws and a weird fumble. Just got bumped. That game was weird and it was out of sync, and we got beat. The Saints beat the Bucs, and the Saints fan base beat the Bucs. So they have every right to brag about this game. And as a Bucs fan, what you don't need to do is don't get mad. The Saints earned the victory. They didn't make mistakes. They only had 2 penalties. They were the more disciplined team. They were the most sound team. They had a game plan, run the ball, and throw the ball just enough to keep the Bucs, keep the Bucs honest. And they did that. They executed that game plan to the fullest. They didn't beat themselves. The Bucs did. Sean Payton had his team well prepared. They were more disciplined. Sean Payton outcoached Bruce Arians again. This has started to become a ugly theme. Why is Sean Payton outcoaching Bruce Arians again? Of course, you're going to say, he didn't outcoach Bruce Arians when it mattered. Oh, we got a Super Bowl. What does it have to do with this season? I told you to put the Super Bowl behind y'all. If you're going to use the Super Bowl angle against this loss, that's pathetic. We got beat. And if you're going to run back to this, well, we're the Super Bowl champions, we beat the Saints in the playoffs, what does that have to do in 2021? That has no bearing in the outcome of the games in 2021. That Super Bowl is not going to get the Bucs the victories against the Rams and the Saints. That Super Bowl has nothing to do with 2021. You can't use that angle. It don't work. Real football fans will eat you up. Can't do that. Take the L as a real fan. Stop making excuses for the Bucs playing poorly offensively, or not playing poorly, but they didn't execute the game plan. Defensively, didn't look good. Didn't execute Tabo's game plan. The coaches take blame too. But stop using the Super Bowl as an excuse for a loss. Be a better fan base. So now, offensively, the Bucs started out a little shaky. They was running the ball well. I kept saying this. They was running the ball well out of shotgun. What up, Cody? They was running the ball well. What up, Mr. Everything Buck? They was running the Saints fan. What up? They was running the ball well out of shotgun. I don't know why the Bucs did not continue to run the ball out of shotgun. Every time they put Tom Brady under center, that run didn't go anywhere. But when they ran out of shotgun, it was successful. 5.1 yards per play. The Bucs should have ran the ball more. In that game, you should have got more physical with the Saints. The Saints were the more physical team. The Saints played under control. The Saints were the more physical team. The Bucs tried to get cute, chuck the ball around, 3 turnovers. We've seen this episode a lot of times in recent years. Y'all remember? I don't need to bring it up. The passing game was working in the middle of the field, but you got a little bit too greedy, and we'll get to that. The passing game was effective. The only problem I have with the passing game, you went to the wishing well one too many times before the halftime and then at the end of the game, and Mike Evans had 4 targets. Why? In a game like that, 4 targets? Mike Evans is a good receiver, top receiver, and only 4 targets? 2 catches, got a touchdown, really nice touchdown. Confidence was bubbling in Mike Evans' body language. He stayed in the game. He didn't get emotional. Wouldn't you want to throw him the ball a little bit more? Now, granted, AB was out. Gronkowski tried to play. He wasn't effective. But shouldn't you feed Evans the ball a little bit more? You got to try. Godwin was doing his thing, but at some point, you can't keep going to the same door and expecting candy. Halloween reference. The Saints are good enough to pick up on that, and they did. And even Brady mentioned this. Brady said he had Mike Evans open coming across the field, and Brady tried to push the ball down the field. So Brady felt pressured in that moment. I need to make something happen. He said he had Mike Evans coming across the field on the drag route. Now, if you'd have threw it early to Mike Evans, he had Mike Evans coming across the field, but Mike Evans kept going across the field, and Malcolm Jenkins was sitting underneath that crossing route. So that would have been interesting to know when Brady would have threw that ball. If he'd have threw it early when Mike Evans started coming across the field, that's the catch. But as Mike Evans was coming across that field, Malcolm Jenkins was underneath covering Cameron Brate, but Malcolm Jenkins was going to undercut that. So I don't know when that throw he's going to make, but he admitted it. He got a little bit too greedy. Which is that's Brady. You know what I'm saying? He admitted that was a bad throw. That's what you're supposed to do. But the offensive game plan was not executed the way the Bucs should have structured it. The running game should have been more effective. It was effective when it was used out of shotgun. Giovanni Bernard had a good run. Leonard Fournette had a couple good runs. Ronald Jones had one good run. And for some strange reason, when the Bucs get some pressure on them in a game like the Rams and the Cowboys and the Saints, they tend to throw the running game out the window. Why do the Bucs throw the running game out the window? You could have leaned on Leonard Fournette that game, and you could have gave Fournette 20 carries. Slow the game down. Take the crowd out the game. That was, somebody said it. It was loud in there. Everything was shaking. Giving the Saints too much energy is the wrong thing to do. That's one of the teams like Seattle. You don't want to give their fans energy because it gives the team energy. Momentum is real, folks. It's an intangible. It's nothing physical about the fans. Like, as far as they're not on the field, there's nothing. It's an intangible thing when it comes to games like this. Fans matter. It's not a physical thing. It's not a tackle or anything like that, catching a ball. It's just the intangible presence of the fans and the loud noise. So to control that atmosphere, that chaotic atmosphere on Halloween, primetime, America's Game of the Week, you run the ball effectively. The Bucs should have had 20 to 25 carries, probably 25 carries. Give your running backs the touches they need in games like that. You Arians keep talking about the running backs is good 1-2 punch. Use them. Stop with the nonsense of after a game when they ask Arians about, is Rojo going to be getting traded? Oh no, we got a dynamic 1-2 combination. Well, use them. That was the perfect game to use them to control the crowd. But you want to go bombs away. Bombs away got you 3 turnovers. Granted, the passing game wasn't bad. It's just that was way too much in that type of game. This was not the Bears. This was not the Dolphins or the Falcons or the Eagles. That don't work on teams like the Rams and the Saints. It don't work on them teams. It's not going to work with the Bills. It's not going to work in the playoffs. Did you see the Bucs? You got to run the ball. That's what they did in the playoffs. Playoff Lenny, right? That was a playoff game yesterday. What happened to playoff Lenny? Byron Leftwich moving forward needs to utilize his running backs. And granted, you got to take the pressure off passing game. Just take the pressure off just a little bit. It's okay to get 20 rushes per game. Don't do it against bad teams. Do it against the teams that matter on your schedule. And right now, the Bucs are 1-2 against teams over 500. What does that tell you? You barely beat the Cowboys. You lost clearly to the Saints, and you lost to the Saints. You lost to the Saints clearly, and you lost to the Rams clearly. What does that tell you? 1-2 against teams over 500. So we beat up on the bad teams, and against the good teams, we don't know what to do. The playoffs going to have nothing but good teams. Have you seen the NFC East, the NFC conference? That's top heavy. Want to run down the list? Cardinals, Rams, Packers, Saints, Cowboys, Bucs. Those teams are going to be right there. You got to be able to run the ball, control the clock. 2021 is not 2020. Please remember that. I don't care about 2020. We got the chip. I get it. That has nothing to do with 2021. Stop bringing that up. The crossing routes were effective. But eventually the Saints was going to get you. We had some weird 3-and-outs, momentum changers. We're talking about offense right now. We're not talking about the Bucs defense. We're going to get to that because they got to walk the plank. They got to walk the plank. All of them. The tight ends wasn't really being used this game. It was basically Godwin or bust. Now, Cyrus Grayson and Tyler Johnson. Tyler Johnson had a good game. Shout out to Tyler Johnson. He could have been utilized a little bit more. He had a good matchup against Bradley Roby. it just certain parts of the game you got to be able to figure it out. We should have beat the Saints. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. I get it. Certain moments of the game, if you go back and watch that game, certain moments of the game, the Saints were better. They got a couple 3-and-outs when they needed it. They made the run stops, then they needed it. Well, offensively, the Bucs could have did a better job. Even though they had 421 yards of total offense, they could have did a better job. It could have been a little bit more cleaner. Well, it should have been more cleaner. Byron Leftwich, he's got to use the running backs. So we got a super chat. Nice little super chat. $19.99 for the one time online. More Power Bucks. Thank you for the super chat, man. He says, late to the live. Not sure if you discussed this already, but have you talked about Devin White and his play lately? Todd Bowles lacking of disguises, 22 blitz and 1 sack. He broke a record with that stat. That's ridiculous. I haven't got to the defense yet, Mopar Buck. We're talking about the offense right now. I say the defense last for a reason. We're going to get to the defense. That's the juicy conversation. Right now, we're talking about the offense. We're going to transition into the defense, and then after the defense, then we're going to bring some people on and we're going to talk. So we're going to talk about the defense because there's a lot. There's a lot. Trust me. So thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the $19.99 for the one time online. Bless you. But we're gonna get to that. Give me a couple minutes. Back to the offense. Let me summarize this offense up. The offense should have had a cleaner game. Now, I don't know. Obviously, the game plan was to disguise and attack the Saints in the middle, which was a weakness. And I kept saying this during the game. The Saints have a hard time defending crossing routes. But if you run straight up routes against the Saints, they're going to cover you. They're going to cover you for the most part. And, the offense that the Bucs have, they're going to get yards. So the Saints gave up a lot of passing yards. But, hey, it's the Tampa Bay Bucs. The Saints made the stops when they need to make the stops. Because even the Rams secondary didn't really stop the Bucs passing offense, remember? Even the Cowboys. So the Bucs passing offense is explosive, but if you can stop the Bucs passing offense in certain key moments, you're going to make it very difficult for the Bucs to win the game. The Rams did it, and now the Saints did it. You're not going to totally stop the Bucs. We're too good on offense. Brady is too good. The weapons are too good. You can't totally stop the Bucs. Nobody's going to totally stop the Bucs. Not happening. But the Saints secondary, they made the plays when they need to make the play. So let's fast forward to the end of the game. Tom Brady with the ball, minute and 44 seconds. First down place. Tyler Johnson dropped the ball. So it was a weird. The play calling was fine. Let's just be honest. The play calling was fine for that drive. Brady just got too greedy. And then he, unfortunately, crazy how this works. And it's crazy how the universe works or multiverse worked, right? In a parallel universe, he threw a pick six to end the game. The irony, right? The irony. Threw a pick six to basically end the game. We've seen that before multiple times. How does that feel? Again, you got PTSD? Even one of the GOATs can do it. No quarterback is perfect. Brady, Mahomes, Rodgers, nobody's perfect. Did you get PTSD when that pick six happened? Did you almost go crazy? Oh, pick six in the game. Hurt, didn't it? Sting. Not Tom Brady throwing a pick six. What? Now, I got to hear it from the Saints fan all week long. They have every right. But he got too greedy on that crossing route. And I think if you go back and look really closely, he waited too long. He was waiting for Godwin to clear. And I see why he waited, because Johnson was underneath Godwin, kind of trailing him. And in the trail technique, I think he was baiting Brady. So Brady wanted him to clear Johnson. But by the time he cleared Johnson, PJ Williams was sitting over there in that zone as a cover two man. And interesting, the Saints defense had an interesting setup. They had PJ Williams at safety, Malcolm Jenkins basically playing that third down linebacker covering the tight end, Cameron Brate, and they put PJ Williams at safety. So I don't know if he's going to be playing safety moving forward in certain defensive packages, but I'm a football fan, so I watch everything. I thought that was interesting. I'm like, PJ Williams playing safety? He was a nickel / corner slot guy. He went from cornerback, slot, nickel. Now he's a safety. So now that gives Saints more flexibility to add another guy to defend the Bucs receivers that can cover. Because remember what I told y'all about Pete Warner? Remember what I told y'all about Brady attacking Pete Warner in the middle of the field? He stayed away from Demario Davis. He kept attacking Pete Warner. Or wherever Pete Warner was in the range, in the area, he kept throwing it at in the middle of the field. They took Pete Warner off the field and they brought Malcolm Jenkins down and they put PJ Williams in the secondary. Great move by Dennis Allen. Go back and watch it, folks. Great move by Dennis Allen. We got another super chat. Mopar Buck again. He's feeling very generous today with another super chat. $19.99 for the one time online. Thank you again. He says, "What's your opinion with this Gronk situation? He injured something else. If we don't have him, and Brady needs a safety blanket, what do we do with 84-80 is unreliable? We have to start featuring Tyler more without AB." Gronk just wasn't ready to play. His body just is not healing the same. A young Gronk, he would have fought through that. But we're talking about, folks, please understand this. This Gronk is old. He might be 31, 32, but his body is like 50. So it's taking him a little bit more time to get healed. And he had back spasms. Well, that's pretty clear on where that came from. The ribs and not moving around that much. And you playing the game at a high level at 31, 32 years old. This is not the same Gronk no more, folks. This is not the New England. Please, folks, understand this. This is not the Tom Brady New England. This is not the Gronkowski New England. Please, you gotta get more realistic with Gronkowski and Brady. You really do. You really do. This is the Tampa Bay version of Gronkowski. Old, beat up, can't play 17 games. I knew he wasn't going to play 17 games. He's just too injury prone now, especially at an older age. You can't be injury prone at over 30. That don't work. Injury prone and over 30 don't work because your body takes longer to heal. It's just nature, folks. It's genetics, nature. AB, Gronkowski, they just old. JPP went through it. Now, in this situation, what Mopar Buck is talking about is the backup tight ends. Remember, these tight ends, we deep at tight ends. We got $19 million tied up in tight ends. And they weren't really utilized. What O.J. Howard had, one or two catches? Cameron Brate had one. Like, look, they're not bad tight ends. Are they overpaid? Yes. The tight ends are overpaid. $19 million tied up into one position, tight end. I always said you really only needed really one or the two, number 80 or Brate. You didn't need both of them. You could have took that money and put it into the secondary. Whether it was Cameron Brate, cutting him, or cutting number 80. You could have took the money from one of them and put it into the secondary. Because you loaded up on offense. You could have took some of that money and put it on the defense, because clearly they need it on the defense. I mean, number 80 and 84 are not really bad players. They're just there. And you're right, Tyler Johnson, he was used more than he's ever been this season. But I think the Bucs sometimes have a problem with just having too many guys to catch the ball. It's a good thing to have, but it can also be a bad thing too. I mean, let me give you the numbers, or let me give you the guys that Brady had to throw the ball to. Evans, Godwin, Tyler Johnson, Gronkowski, Brate, O.J. Howard. That's a great problem to have, but sometimes it can hurt you because Because you're like, well, why Tyler Johnson wasn't used more? Well, I mean, he's trying to throw the ball to Godwin. Well, I mean, like, he could have. It's only one ball, folks. It's only one ball. Break is slow. Number 80 is number 80. So in the future, man, Tyler Johnson has shown enough to me, and he was good in Minnesota, that he can be a reliable weapon. He's a Tom Brady receiver. Got hands, he can run routes. Yeah, he dropped the ball, but don't trip. So, AB, I think we'll move on from him next year, and Tyler Johnson to fill that role very fine. Godwin, if we resign him, Tyler Johnson, Mike Evans, one of the tight ends, and we'll still be fine. Tyler Johnson's fine. But they're going to have to do something with that tight end situation because it doesn't look explosive. But they good catchers, though. Decent catchers, but nothing to be scared of. Saints weren't scared of the Bucs tight ends. They didn't really do anything. But so at the end of the game, it was a mistake. And thank you for the super chat. At the end of the game, it was a mistake by Tom Brady. And, it happens, but what the Bucs need to do offensively, they got to start running the ball better. They just do. Like I keep saying this, and they ran the ball well. It's not enough. But remember, coming to the game, if the Bucs wanted to run the ball, if they wanted to, they can. Well, that was the game that you should have ran the ball to take the crowd out of the game, because you ran the ball against the Bears, you ran the ball against the Eagles, you ran the ball against the Dolphins, you ran the ball against the Falcons. All bad teams. But you didn't run the ball good against the Rams. And you didn't run enough against the Saints. So is there a pattern going here? Why is there a pattern here? Why is there a pattern? When the teams get good, the Bucs. What do I do? What do I do? Do I run? Do I do bombs away? Like, come on, man. But against bad teams, we do what we want to do. I'm gonna say this once again. And no disrespect to the other teams on the schedule. That's bad teams. Those games don't matter. The Bucs will win those games clearly. I told y'all what the games that mattered. That's how you judge the Bucs. Off the games on the schedule that matter. Once again, full disclosure, no disrespect to the Dolphins and the Falcons and the Bears and the Eagles and the Panthers and the Jets and the Giants and the Redskins and the Washington Football. You're not good. You're not good. You're not good. The Bucs want to run right through you. The games that matter to me are the games that got coaches that's at the same level or a little bit lower. McCarthy, he's up there. He's winning a lot. Sean McVay outcoached Bruce Arians again. Sean Payton continues to outcoach Bruce Arians. And Sean McDermott. What do those coaches have in common? Can anybody take a guess why the Bucs struggle against teams like that? Competent teams? Don't worry, I'll wait. The Bucs not perfect, folks. And I'm giving y'all the breakdown on why the Bucs not perfect. Bruce Arians is not perfect by all means. All those 4 teams I just named, they got pretty good coaches. You can't do what you want to do against competent teams. If you're a really bad team and you're incompetent in one area, or you're not, the Bucs gonna eat you up. Look, you'll see the rest of the next few games. The Bucs is gonna be running through teams, and the media is gonna start it back up again. Oh yeah, the Bucs this, and the minute the Bucs play the Bills, I'm like, okay, here's a competent team. The defense with the D-line, secondary, and the quarterback, elite quarterback. Let's see what the Bucs gonna do. A team that can actually throw the ball. That's not the Saints. It's the Bills. They can chuck it around a little bit. Josh Allen's a beast. Come on, Bucs. You got to start beating these teams that matter. All right. Now, On the flip side, let's talk about the defense. I spent 44 minutes kind of, in the last 30 minutes talking about the offense. Let's talk about his defense, and then I'll bring somebody on. I'll bring some people on. Let's get to the defense real quick because I kind of want to hear from you guys because I know y'all tired of hearing from me. I want to hear from you guys. Defensively, sugar honey iced tea show, a total sugar honey iced tea show. Undisciplined, just undisciplined. We second in the NFL in penalties, or not we, but the Bucs defense, or the Bucs as a team. Defensively, personal fouls. Granted, I didn't agree with some of those personal fouls from the refs, but good God Almighty! Defensively, like what is the Bucs doing with all these blitzing and not being effective with all these blitzes? Next Gen put a stat up and said the Bucs blitzed 22 times. No pressures. Todd Bowles' blitzing concepts are basic. Would you agree with that? Todd Bowles' blitzing concepts outdated, predictable, and you keep sending the guy that can't cover the blitz. You're not disguising your blitzes. Sean Payton was picking that apart. You got the pressure every time to get a sack, leaving your secondary to get caught on by who are these guys? Like the announcer said during the game, who are these guys? A bunch of ragtag group of receivers catching balls? You lucky Jameis Winston wasn't playing, because I'm gonna tell you right now, that first quarter you can tell it was gonna be one of those games for Winston. He was gonna chuck that ball around in the Bucs secondary. Sean Payton had to scale it back because of Trevor Siemian's, but you can tell in that first quarter, Winston was going to chuck the ball around a whole lot more than Trevor Siemian. So we dodged the bullet on that one. The blow was soft and no, not trying to, he got injured, right? But this loss was softened by Trevor Siemian finishing the game, if that makes sense. Because Winston was on his way to having one of those games. You could tell. He was on his way. And the Bucs was blitzing him too. And that didn't work. He was running, scrambling, completing balls. The beautiful touchdown pass takes Traquan Smith off a blitz. Why do Todd Bowles do 0 blitzes at the wrong time? Norman Curtis with the $1.99 for the one time online. Thank you for the super chat. He said, let's be real. They're trying to get Tom Brady the MVP. I don't know. I mean, I can't agree with that. I mean, he's clearly trying to break records. That's pretty clear on that. But I don't know if he's trying to get another MVP. That I'm not going to go that far, but I can, from what my eyes tell me, he's clearly trying to break records on purpose. Like that's what he's after, because he has nothing else to prove but to get all the passing records, and that's what he's doing. You can't get mad at that, but that's what he's doing. Touchdown records, 3 touchdown games, 4 touchdown games, 400-yard games, 300-yard games. You're like, can't get mad at it. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he's clearly after individual records. I mean, he's done everything. So can't get mad at Tom Brady for that, man. Gotta stop it. Gotta stop him from getting MVP. That's the defense job. That's the opponent's defensive job to stop him from throwing for all those yards. Because he gonna keep doing it. But anyway, let's get back to the defense, right? Let's get back to the defense. Because only the hyperbole believe the hyperbole. Y'all know where I got that from? Only the hyper believe than the hyperbole. That might be way too much. I might be going over y'all heads. But defensively, the Saints had 152 yards rushing. Granted, 38 came from Winston. Kamara didn't really do much. And that's crazy. The Saints were able to win the game without Kamara really having a huge effect on the game. Yes, Kamara had a rushing touchdown, and we'll get to that in a second. But Saints as a team had over 30 carries and over 150 yards against the number one rushing defense in the NFL. They ran the ball 34 times. They made a concerted effort to run the ball at the Bucs. No matter how they got yards, Ingram, Kamara, Deontay Harris, Jameis Winston, run the ball. Kamara didn't do much. He had 20 carries for like 51 yards. He didn't do much. Kamara didn't do much. Yeah, 19 carries for 61 yards. I'm sorry. 19 carries for 61. Didn't do much. 3.2 yards a carry. But let's get back to the defense. It just penalties, man. Where's the discipline? You got to be able to be disciplined and control your emotions. Devin White. Fam. Devin White. And I told y'all about Devin White. He's not there yet. No interceptions, no sacks. What impact has he made this year? What impact has he made this year? He's just out there running around, getting penalties, getting beaten coverage. Still a young guy. He got time. But man, this is not the same Devin White this year. The team, I told y'all, when you got full tape on how they use him, Devin White right now is limited. He's a wild boar. Just wild. He tackles wild. He tackles high. He's always out of control. Doesn't cover well. And the Bucs hide him by blitzing him a lot because he's good at blitzing. That don't work against top 10 O-lines. What did I tell you about the Saints O-line? What did Shaq Barrett and JPP do? Now, JPP batted some balls down, but what did they do in the pressure? Did they get any sacks? Were they major factors? What did I tell y'all about Ramczyk and Shaq Barrett? What did I tell y'all about Armstead, Shaq Barrett, JPP? What did I tell y'all about them tackles? Saints O-line did a good job controlling the Bucs blitz. They only got one sack at all those blitzes. One sack. Saints have a top 10 O-line. I told y'all this before the game. I told y'all about them tackles. And even the Saints interior missing Andres Pete, the Saints look like they didn't even miss a beat. That shows you the Saints' depth on O-line. The Saints were able to still block effectively with a starter out. The Bucs did all they could against the Saints O-line for most of the game, and it was ill-effective. All those blitzes by Todd Bowles in bad situations and bad penalties, Todd Bowles should have. Look, I'm not a coach. Todd Bowles should have pulled Devin White to the side and just let him sit down for a couple plays. Like, because he was highly emotional. I'm not trying to. Well, I am singling Devin White. I am singling Devin White out, but he was just extra yesterday. He was really extra. All the emotion, barking at people, unnecessary personal fouls. Devin White, and didn't do anything in the game, but he was known for his personal fouls and injuring Jameis Winston. That's what he was known for. Matter of fact, how many tackles did he have? He had 10 tackles, but they were all irrelevant. Had no effect on the outcome of the game. 3 penalties on Devin White. No sacks, no interceptions, no game-changing plays, no nothing. Well, he had a game-changing play. Devin White, Mr. I can't tackle, form tackle correctly. He always tackling high. Go back and watch his college tapes, folks. Zach Jarvis. We're doing good today with the super chats, folks. Thank you for the super chats. We're doing really good today with the super chats. Are the Saints still a playoff team without Winston? He's out for the year. It's borderline. With Winston, they are a playoff team. Without Winston, borderline. If that makes sense. 9 to 10 wins. Maybe you can squeeze in 11, but at the most 10 because Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill. Winston's clearly better than those guys. Clearly. The team responds to Winston clearly. They like him. Regardless of how we feel about him, but the New Orleans Saints as a team like him. They love him. So we're gonna see how they respond to Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian. But Sean Payton's a good coach, so I wouldn't doubt the Saints not making the playoffs. But I wouldn't bet against it. I'm not putting my money on saying the Saints won't make it to playoffs because Winston hurt. I'm not putting my money on that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not betting against Sean Payton in that defense and that O-line and that running game. I'm not doing it. Not me, not mine. I'm not doing it. So we'll see. They'll probably squeeze in at the 6-7 seed because if you look at the NFC, Panthers, Vikings, Saints, you can throw the Falcons in there. Outside, and those are the 4 teams that's kind of fighting for the 6 and 7 seed. So you got to think that the Saints can make it over the Vikings, the Panthers, and the Falcons, right? Sean Payton is better than Mike Zimmer. He's better than Arthur Smith. He's better than Matt Rule. Right? You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But I wouldn't bet against him. Mopar Buck, thank you for the super chat. Mopar Buck with another super chat. The super chat. Look, if you got any questions, super chat it to me. I'll read your questions out loud and I will address your question right then and there. I can't answer all the questions in the chat room. You got a super chat. Y'all see what the super chats get? Super chats get the front of the line and they get their questions answered in front of everybody. That's how this works. Super chat the question. Because so much going on. And I'm trying to move forward because I want to bring you guys on. Mopar Buck with a $9.99 for the one time online. Thank you for another super chat. You feeling really generous today, I see. Devin White is getting fined. And also, his post-game interview was just bad. He appeared to be stuck in the Super Bowl hype from last year. The defense needs a trade before the deadline. Not sure where. Look, that's what we're talking about right now. We're talking about Devin White and his performance yesterday and his lack of performance in the season. Nothing from him. Todd Bowles is using him in a box. He's using him in a box. He's not using him like Fred Warner or Darius Leonard. Devin Bush is playing fine. He's playing better than Devin White. If you go look around, Micah Parsons, another linebacker. How many people can say Devin White is better than Micah Parsons? So Devin White has took a step back this year because of Todd Bowles' scheme. Todd Bowles knows what he got in Devin White. He knows Devin White is limited, especially in coverage. And Todd Bowles' defense, it's a heavy blitzing defense, and he would like to use Todd Bowles. He would like to use Devin White in coverage, but he has to protect him. He has to hide him because the jig is up. The jig is up. Devin White, there's a book on Devin White. He can't cover and he doesn't tackle well. He's overly aggressive and they use it against him. Even when he blitzes, he's overly aggressive. Devin White got room to grow, but he's overly aggressive. He's wild. He's a wild football player right now. He doesn't play under control. So you can't put Devin White as a top linebacker. Because what has he done? I can name 5 or 6 or 7 linebackers that he's not even close to right now. We're talking about 2021. We're not talking about the top NFL 100 players and the players voted and all that. We ain't talking about that. We're talking about right now. What are you doing right now? He's not doing anything. There's no game-changing plays from him. He had 9 sacks last year. You know how many sacks Devin White got this year? You know how many interceptions, sacks, forced fumbles Devin White got this year? How many sacks Devin White got this year? How many sacks? Anybody? I know. I already know this. But how many sacks Devin White got this year? Does anybody know? How many sacks? He had 9 last year, folks. 9. How many forced fumbles? How many interceptions? It's not me. It's facts. Remember, today's episode is facts over feelings. Devin White is not playing good. He needs to walk the plank. It's okay, Devin, but you got to walk the plank. Don't become a number. Keep your name, Devin White. I'm going to let you slide because you're a good player, but keep your name on this channel, Devin White. Don't become number 45. Levante David. I didn't hear it. Did anybody hear Levante David name yesterday? He had 8 tackles total. Did anybody hear Levante David name? What's going on with Levante David? I know he's been hurt, but he's been quiet too. No impact plays from him either. Remember what I told y'all about being over 30 in the NFL? You don't get better. Father Time is undefeated, especially at the positions like linebacker, cornerback, running back, where it requires you to run a lot. Now, Levante Davis is still good. He's still a top level linebacker, but you can tell some plays it's not the same Levante David. There's no knock on Levante. His status is stamped, but I'm just telling y'all what my eyes see. My eyes tell me he's still playing good, but it's not the same. It's not the 27-year-old Levante David. You know, his energy. We needed his energy. You know, Levante David gives great energy. Where was his energy? Levante David used to be that hype dude. Where was the energy? Secondary. Jamel Dean did his job. I don't even think Jamel Dean I think he allowed maybe 1 catch. I think Jamel Dean did his job on his side, but Sean Payton attacked the Seer Cockrell, man, fam. Decent player, man, but y'all are starting to see, even though we have depth, but you're starting to see the difference between a starter and a backup. And as the season move along, teams are going to will continue to attack those guys until Carlton Davis get back and Murphy Bunting get back. This is what we got to deal with. I think there was somebody said it was like the 9th different starting secondary combination the Bucs had, like the most in the NFL, something like that. But we'll get through this, folks. But right now, I am glad that the schedule is not super crazy with top level quarterbacks because we will get shredded. Desir, Cockrell, that ain't gonna work. Cockrell is a fill-in because at some point you're going to start seeing why he's not a starter, and we're seeing that. And they're putting him in the position where quarterbacks like to throw the ball, the slot, the nickel. You know what I'm saying? And he's having a hard time. He's having a hard time, and luckily we don't play the Cowboys or the Rams because we got to play the Bills. And by the time we play the Bills, hopefully Murphy Bunting be back, and Carlton Davis definitely be back. But hopefully when we play the Bills, the next game I circled, I'm looking forward to. He's not playing that game, or he's not starting because he will get shredded. Sorry, I don't want to hear it. Cockrell is just not. He's not it. Because at some we can only hide that for so long. You know, the Dolphins, the Eagles, the Bears, poor quarterbacks that really. And I kept telling y'all this. Don't get caught up in those games. Those 3 little games are against bad teams. A competent coach will expose you. Brian Flores struggling. Nick Sirianni, rookie coach. Matt Nagy, a coach on the way out. Did you really think Sean Payton wasn't going to attack Desir and Cockrell, top level coach? But don't worry, folks. Help is on the way. We're going to get our starters back. Trust me. And I told y'all this. We're going to be better on the back end of the season defensively, except for the Bills game. I'm worried about that game. But outside of the Bills game, the Colts can be a little feisty. But outside of the Bills game, the Bucs defense will be fine. We will be fine. Trust me. Injuries. And I can't use injuries as the excuse because every team got injuries. I mean, look around the league, folks. It's injuries everywhere. You got to have the coaching staff to overcome it. Danielle Hunter out for the season. Derrick Henry out for 8 to 10 weeks. Mike Vrabel got to deal with it. Mike Zimmer got to deal with his injuries. John Harbaugh, multiple injuries. Multiple starters out. The Ravens still winning. Every team has injuries, folks. So you can't, well, we got injuries and all that. No. Because when we were winning, you wasn't saying that. See, you can't have it both ways. You know, when the Bucs lose a game, you can't say, well, it's injuries. No. That's not how it works. Because when we winning, you don't say nothing about injuries. I told you I'm gonna cut you down. In the words of my dad, I'm gonna cut you down. I'm not letting you ride, Bucs fans. You gonna take this L just like I did. Don't use the injuries as an excuse. That ain't gonna work. It's NFL. VIP MC with the $5 super chat one time for the online. He says, "Thank you for the blessing. I think the refs didn't want the Saints to win. Want the Saints to lose their last QB. Those roughing the passer calls were suspect. Yes, but look, folks, I'm not sure if some of you play organized sports, but in basketball, they say play through the ref. In football, you can't use a ref. You can't point the fingers at we've seen this in a lot of games in football, basketball, baseball. It's crazy as it sounds. It's a part of the game, if that makes sense. This is what I was afraid of when the Bucs lose. It's the ref's fault. It's you know, it's the injuries. No, man. The Bucs didn't play well. Yeah, the refs had some questionable calls, but the Bucs didn't play well. 11 penalties, 3 turnovers. Don't give the refs a reason to throw a flag. You ever thought about that? See, you can't have it. You can't have it both ways. I can't let you do that. And VIP MC, and I respect your super chat and all that, but you can't have it both ways. You can't do that because when we winning, we don't hear this. I don't hear the refs. Or it was injuries. I don't hear that. But when we lose, it's the refs. We was hurt too much. But you know, and the Bucs didn't. The Saints didn't really win. It was the refs and the injuries. Nah, man, take the L. Come on, man, take the L. Don't do that. Not over here. Take the L. Take the L like a real fan. Take the L like a real Bucs fan. You know what I'm saying? Don't start with these excuses because we're 6-2. Regardless of what you say about the game, the Bucs lost. Remember, facts over how you feel about the refs. See what you're doing and what some of the Bucs fans are doing. They're feeling, or I feel like the refs cheated, and it's okay. I know it hurts. It hurts to see your team lose. Trust me. I sat through multiple years of the Bucs losing, so I'm immune to the Bucs when the Bucs lose. I'm immune to it now. I used to get pissed. I was pissed off like you. The refs and they cheated. I am to the point now with being a Bucs fan for decades, for over 2 decades now. I can take a L very comfortably. I don't need to point the finger at the refs and we was injured. Well, if we was healthy, that wouldn't happen. So you got to learn how to take an L as a fan. It's okay. Breathe. Just take the L, man. It's okay. It's 6-2, man. Like we're 6-2, man. Relax. The world is not over, man. You can point the finger all you want to, but relax. I appreciate the super chat. Breathe. It's okay, man. Yeah, I know you don't want your team to lose, but breathe. But yeah, defensively, man, no real good pass rush. Here's a concern, and I know we haven't discussed this, but the interior pass rush for the Bucs is. Notice nobody have not really brought that up, but the interior pass rush for the Bucs is slow, and lack of a better word, slow. Just no explosiveness up the middle. No explosiveness up the middle of the pass rush. No explosiveness. Like we need some speed and some hungry young guys in the middle. That Golson and Sue and Nacho. Dang, them boys, they just don't get in. They don't make a. I mean, Sue got a sack, but it was more of a. He just kind of went into Sue. It wasn't no like Sue getting. It's not Sue old. Nacho, McClennan, like those guys. Vita Vea, great run stuffer, push the pocket back, but we need guys in the middle that get sacks too. Chris Jones, Fletcher Cox, Aaron Donalish, Leonard Williams, the Williams from the Jets. I forgot his first name, but Quentin Williams from the Jets, DeForest Buckner, Eric Armstead. You know, we gotta get the Ed Oliver. We need one of those guys. We need one of those interior guys that can get in there. Yes, a super chat. Mopar Buck. $9.99 for the one time online. Another super chat. Thank you for the super chat. We can't use the refs when BA said after the game the officials in that game led the league in roughing the passer calls. So we knew this was coming and yet still did it. We scouted for this one, so no dice. See, there you go. See, folks, there you go, right there. They scouted that. They scouted the refs for the game. They knew that group of refs led the league in roughing the passer calls, and the Bucs still gave them a reason to throw a flag. What did I tell y'all? Pay attention, folks. The Bucs knew this. They scouted the refs already. Oh, these refs like to call roughing the passer. And what did the Bucs do? Mopar Buck pointed it out. And not mine. It's him, not me. Facts over feelings. Anyway, thank you for the super chat, Mopar Buck. You are dropping some dimes today. Let's bring some people on. Let's bring a couple people on. I want to hear what you guys got to say about the game because I know you guys got some things to say because we're a little bit over an hour, and I know I'm running over time right now. So let's get y'all in here real quick, and let's get what you guys got to say about the game. Let's get you guys in here. Come on, folks. We over an hour. I don't want to make it too long, and this is not a live stream as far as we watching the game. This is I'm trying to keep this reasonably not too long. It's already over an hour, so let's get these people in. Line up. If you line up, get in here, get in the locker room, line up, get your questions, get your responses out, have them ready, get to the point because I don't want to drag this out too long. Y'all know the rules when you come into the locker room. Get to the point because today we can't over drag this. We got to move on from this L, and we got a bye week. We can chill. We can heal up. So line up in the locker room. Say what you got to say. Don't this time for real. Seriously, don't take too long because I'm trying to get people in here. We got more people in the locker room today that want to talk. A lot of people. So we're gonna start out with Corey, from Nashville. Um, Start this out here. What's going on? What
What up, man?
is
Hey,
word on the street?
we talked. What was that? Wednesday or Thursday? And I
Mhm.
said we have to play this team focused. Like you have to explain to me why did we go in there acting like they came to Tampa and put us out the playoffs after we beat them twice in the regular season? We played them like we had something to prove. All that extra ancillary shit we were doing defensively, it was very annoying early in the game, and it caught up to us. It caught up to us. Like even the William Ghostin, yeah, they could have called hands to the face, but he should not even have touched Trevor Siemian. Like he literally dropped his shoulder right into his back. I'm like, bro, why are you doing that? Like, I get you want to send a message, et cetera, so you probably mad. But then Sue tried to talk to him. He's so damn in his emotions. He's like, oh, I gotta go sit down for a minute. Bro, y'all need to relax. Like
Mhm.
our defense plays so out of control. Um, and this is the thing, man. You playing a division foe, man. You cannot see. We played the Cowboys week 1 and lost the turnover battle. Okay,
Mhm.
they aren't a division foe, so they're not going to get stops like they should against us because they're not familiar with us. Even though it seemed like we played them like once every 2 years, it seemed like, but they're not familiar. The Saints are familiar, dude. Like we can't lose the turnover battle to them, and vice versa. Vice versa, they did it. They lost the turnover. We didn't even play that well in the playoff, but
Mm-mm.
they lost the turnover battle. They
Yep.
gave us the ball too many times, and we're too familiar with each other. So to go into that game, have 11 penalties for 99 yards. That's like against a division. I'm telling you something, man. We would have lost that game to Carolina. We would have lost that game to Atlanta, and we damn sure was gonna lose that game to the Saints. I'm sorry, man. We can't play like that. The game reminded me. You still there, Isaiah? I think the camera went out. Oh, I think he went out.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know what happened with that one. Something just dropped out.
I know that was crazy, but let me put my hat on too because it's still Bucks Nation, baby. Let me put my it's all messed up now, but I've been throwing it around since yesterday. But we it's the mental part of the game that I mentioned last week. I was like, it's a division game. The only way the Saints could beat us is if we play. I mean, we played exactly like we didn't want to win the game, which is so weird to me. Like even Tom and you, it was like the damn Mandela effect. It was like we switched into an alternate universe for a moment, and Tom Brady turned into James. Like,
Basically,
dude,
right? I mean,
dude, that end of the game interception was unacceptable. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know how in certain moments of the game, I, Mike Evans has to be your first read. Like they're playing man coverage, and quite frankly, that was the best I've seen Mike Evans against Marshawn Lattimore and since the Fitzpatrick game. Since the Fitzpatrick game,
right.
Marshawn Lattimore could not defend for him to only have 4 catches, maybe 5 or 6 targets. The way he was beating Lattimore off the line of scrimmage, he should have had he because he would have forced more pass interferences. He would have forced more defensive holding calls. And you made a good point about the refs, man. Like we can't. And to Bruce Arians' credit, Miles, stop. To Bruce Arians' credit, he said, you know, the calls are the calls, but we just can't put ourselves in that situation. And he pretty much said like the first thing we want to do is scream refs. How are we gonna get better? In his press conference today. Like, there's no way to get better. And that's what I was trying to tell the fans, man. There's no way to get better if we're going to say the refs cost us that football game. Because not only did they not cause, I mean, they made some egregious calls, but okay, after a referee makes an egregious call, you kind of fix yourself. we kept doing the same shit over and we looked really insane.
Well, look, Corey, I'm sitting there watching the game. I'm summarize this up because I got about 4 people behind you.
Right.
So from the piggyback on what you were saying, the defense, and I want to get back onto that topic. The defense, my gosh, they were out of control, man. Like
Out of control.
It's just like, what are you doing? Like what? It's one of those things when you watch the game, if you go back and watch it, it's like
unnecessary shit.
Like Todd Bowles, get your guys under control, man. Like,
and I'm gonna let you go, but I was expecting an early timeout to be called, and I was expecting to see a rally, like a leader, whether it be Levante, whether it be Hurts. I don't even know if Carlson probably didn't make the trip, but the Todd Bowles or Sherman, I was expecting to see a leader rally, and I never saw that. They just kept letting them play. But I know you got people back up. I just want to say, man, I'm glad the bye week is now. This game reminded me of the Bears game where Tom Brady actually played old, like mentally, and luckily it happened now. We're 6-2. Last year with the bye week over 7-5. So 6-2. Let's take care of business and we have a favorable schedule to give us some momentum. Period.
Definitely.
So
we'll be fine.
All right, man. I'll let you later on in the week.
Appreciate it, Corey, man. Thank you for joining the locker room, man. You know, be blessed, man. So that was Corey from Nashville. We got another one, Big Bucks. Then we got Big Bucks. We got Buck Life 954. We got VIP pull up. I want to hear from a Saints fan too, man. Saints fan, don't be scared to come in here. I do want to hear from you guys as well. You know what I'm saying? What you think about the game. Till that legend. What up, Big Bucks?
What's up, man?
I'm here, man.
Hey, so I guess, everybody was talking about the refs. Let me just make this clear. Respect the ref call, whether it's good or bad. If you played any sports, you got to do that. You can't get in there and fuss with them or anything. Now, it was a couple of questionable calls, but if you take away those 2 or 3 questionable calls, we still had like 7 or 8 penalties, and that's too much. So that's going to kill you regardless. I thought the defense could have did better, but like you said, Sean Payton knew to attack certain areas of the defense coming into this week. He had something up his sleeve, so I wasn't surprised by that. I mean, I actually had this game pegged as a loss, believe it or not, and I was shocked. Like I said earlier in the week, I said I would expect Mike Evans to get targets deep downfield to possibly get a PI call or just get free hidden yards. But that one play where he overthrew him, let's just be honest, Mike Evans is not a speed guy. Let's just be for real. If that was AB or anybody else, they would have caught that. I'm just going to be for real. And another thing I want to piggyback off of is the defense. I've said this several times. We can't rush with 4. We don't have it. And every time we play the Saints, I've always said is you can go back and check the videos. JPP and Shaq Barrett just disappear. Those 2 bookend tackles they can handle them every time. They disappear. And like I said early in the week, I mentioned if the Saints get a turnover via a sack, strip fumble, or I said if Brady shocks everybody and throws a interception, we would have a long day. So, he don't went out on me.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, okay, but offensively, I mean, I'm gonna just be honest with you. If you go back and look at those 2 picks, I got a question where he was throwing the ball at. I mean, they trying to say Chris Godwin on the pick 6, he went up the field, but he was running, he was squaring it off, running to the sideline. So automatically, if a safety or corner sees that, they're gonna undercut and break on the route. So, I mean, when you look at the play from a wide screen, I'm just like, what were you reading? Because you had a guy in the middle of the field wide open on the check down. But, I thought offensively we could have ran the ball more. Like, I don't know what's up with them just running the ball 14 times. At this point in the season, you already put it out there. If you could, you would trade Rojo basically what he was saying, talking about an extraordinary offer. So why not go ahead and have a game where playoff Lenny gets 20 plus carries? I just want to see that,
Right.
just to see what happens. I mean, I think that's how he'll work. If you give him 20 touches, he can probably have a huge impact. Like I said, I'm glad it's the bye week because it comes at the perfect time. That'll give guys that are hurt more time to heal up. I wasn't expecting. Truthfully, I didn't expect Sherman to play yesterday, even though he dressed. I mean, a hamstring is something you can't play with. Like, you can't sit out for 2 weeks and come back. I didn't expect Gronk as well to do anything. He looked out of shape anyway. I mean, he hasn't played in nearly 4 weeks. So honestly, he shouldn't even dress. He should have just waited till after the bye week and come back fresh. So going forward, I think that offensively, you gotta eat. Like I said earlier, Brady can't throw over 30 times a game. You just can't do that. That's a recipe for disaster. I mean, I don't know if it's ego when he wants to set all these records, but hey, let's do what's in the best interest of the team instead of your ego. And like I said, I'm not hating on Brady or anything, but like I said, it just looks like he's trying to get all these individual stats and records. That's just what it looks like, and that can come back to hunt us down the road, particularly in the playoffs if you want to sit up there and go toe-to-toe with I mean, right now, you look at the NFC West, Arizona, and the Rams. Do you really want to go toe-to-toe with them, throwing it over 30-plus times a game? Green Bay, Dallas, Dallas has improved since week 1. And you heard what Dak said after the game. Hey, we'll see y'all again. And like I said, Dallas offensive line, they can sustain their blocks too, because you go back and watch that game, Shaq Barrett and JJP was nowhere to be found unless they got Dak off the spot and moved out the pocket. That's the only way they make plays. Now, as far as the Saints going forward, they're half a game behind us now. With us having to bye next week and they win, that'll put them in first place. But I still think it's our division to win if we just regroup and get it together. But I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm just taking it week by week. Like I said, I hate Jameis got hurt because I really wanted to see how he would play a full 4 quarters against the defense. That was like one of the most interesting things I was looking forward to, and how the defense would respond to him. And lastly, Devin White. I don't care if I piss folks off when I say this, but hey, he low-key starting to play like Quan. Can't cover, take bad angles, and he's wild in space. And I hate his tackling for him. He always trying to slam somebody to the ground. I'm like, just wrap up and drive to the ground. I don't know why he does that. It's not like he's 6'3", 250. Like, the dude is 5'11", 235, 240. So
right.
And I don't fault Levante either. That was his first game back in 3 weeks or so. So I figured he'll be a little out of place, but considering how big this game was and he was coming back this week to play, I kind of expected more. But but he's a veteran, so he should have. I do have a high expectation for him, though.
Right.
So, with all that to be said, we lost fair and square. I don't care what the refs say, and they beat us, and we didn't do enough to win. So, like I said, I watched the lost decade. I'm like you. I'm immune to losses. Like, I don't even get mad when they lose or anything. I done did enough screaming and cussing and stuff after the loss. I'm just like, oh, well, thank goodness it's the bye week. Or, I'm more upset that they got a bye week because I can't watch them play next week. So that's the way I'm at. But that is what it is. That's my 2 cents on this game. I mean, it's, like I said, I had it pegged as a loss. Hopefully we can regroup. And like you said, you mentioned the interior pass rush we have. All we have is run stoppers, and they just can hold a gap. That's it. That's why we can't get anything up the middle. I'm not going to say Sue is washed up, but I think if he was in his prime, maybe he'll be more effective on a pass rush. But all he like to do is bull rush. It's not like he has a signature move like a speed up the middle or slap hands or anything like that. He just tries to overpower. But You would think with Veal, the way he pushes the pocket, somebody win the one-on-one matchup in the 5 technique. You would think that. So I don't know.
Tough loss. But I mean, we'll be okay. I just the Bucs just got to regroup, get healthy and go get ready for this last 9 games, and we'll be fine. 14-3, I stand on that. And we'll get in the playoffs. Number 1, number 2 seed. So it's okay, folks. You know what I'm saying? So everybody take
Went out again.
here, but this is happening way too many times. This is happening way too many times. I'm going to stop this live stream and then figure out what's going on. But we'll continue this conversation. And everybody that's in the locker room, because my internet just keep dropping out. We'll finish this conversation tomorrow or Wednesday. So I got to figure out what's going on with my internet, whatever. It just keeps dropping out. But we'll finish this conversation. So we'll come back and we'll pick up. We're gonna start right where we left off at. I'm gonna bring people right on. I'm not even gonna talk. We're gonna go straight into bringing people on. So all the people that's in the locker room waiting to come on live stream, come back tomorrow or Wednesday, and we will talk some more about this because we got a bye week, so we got to talk about some stuff, right? So with that being said, got one more super chat because this internet keep dropping out. I don't know what's going on. We got a bye week, folks. So we'll do this a few more times. More power buck with a super chat. We won't run the ball because Brady is out for it. Stats: his presence on our team comes with sacrifice. For Super Bowls and complimentary football is one of them. Right. Look, you can't get mad at Brady for trying to break all the records, man. I mean, I'm not getting mad. Hey, do what you do. It's the defense job to stop him. But folks, we got a bye week, so we're gonna have plenty to talk about. Plenty. We got a bye week, folks. Trust me, the locker room gonna be open quite a bit during this bye week because we got a lot to talk about. Trades, all kinds of stuff. Individual. We might have segments about just individual players. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for coming out. Shouts out to everybody that gave me the super chats. I appreciate it. I highly do. With that being said, shouts out to all the Pirates and Sea Bandits. Keep your heads up. It's okay. We're 6-2. We're still number 1 in the division. We're going to the playoffs 14-3. I stand on that. With that being said, subscribe, like, comment, share on all the videos. And don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify you on all new videos that's posted on the channel. With that being said, I want y'all to fire those cannons, seize the day, raise the flag. Hashtag no risky, no biscuit still. Mixed in with a little New England or half and half iced tea. Hashtag facts over feelings. Hashtag bombs away. Hashtag what you doing, Bucs? What you doing? Anyway, it's okay, folks. Take a deep breath, y'all. Enjoy your bye week. We'll be back in the locker room again this week a few times. So stand by for that. Y'all have a great night. And keep your head up. Stop crying. It's okay. Breathe. Bucos Locker out.